10 weeks pregnant right now, stop scrolling for a second, take a breath, because this is huge. That tiny little body that's been quietly under construction for the past couple of months, it is about to become a highly recognizable developing human. All the heavy lifting of that initial blueprint phase is wrapping up, and we're stepping right into a period of rapid, incredibly complex change. Section 1. The big fetal transition. So, the crucial point to understand is this. Right around this 10-week mark, your developing baby gets a brand new title. Medically speaking, from here on out, they're officially referred to as a fetus rather than an embryo. I mean, think of this as their very first major graduation day. They've officially finished up their time in the embryonic stage and graduated into this brand new, super active stage of development. Now, you might be wondering, why does a simple name change actually matter? Well, during the embryo phase, the body's entire focus was basically on the foundational blueprint, right? Laying down those early organ structures literally from scratch. But now, as we enter the fetus phase, the focus shifts. It's all about growth and maturation. Actually, scratch that, it doesn't mean development just suddenly stops. Far from it. Those organs and body systems still have an enormous amount of work ahead of them, but the gears have totally shifted from initial construction into this massive, accelerated maturation process. Section 2. Sizing up your strawberry. Okay, let's talk scale, because the sheer scale of things right now is just fascinating. At 10 weeks, your baby is roughly 3 centimeters long. It's a tiny measurement for sure, but a really mighty one. And at this size, the baby's body, which up until now was curled up super tightly into a C shape, is actually starting to straighten itself out. So to put that into perspective, your baby is only around the size of a strawberry. It's such a perfectly relatable everyday contrast, isn't it? You can hold a strawberry right in the palm of your hand. Yet, within that tiny 3-centimeter frame, major organs and highly complex body structures have already begun actively developing. It's this brilliant paradox of being incredibly small, yet just profoundly complex. Section 3. Brains, nerves, and movement. If you were to look at a scan of a 10-week fetus, the first thing you'd probably notice is that the head is still relatively large compared to the rest of the body. And why is that? Well, it's because the brain is growing at an incredible pace. The nervous system is basically working overtime right now, forming these highly complex connections between the brain, the spinal cord, and the developing body. All the wiring is being laid down to allow the brain to eventually run the whole show. I mean, it's wild to think about building a neural supercomputer inside something the size of a piece of fruit. Which leads us to a question we hear all the time from expectant mothers right around this point. If my baby has all these nervous system connections and they've graduated to a fetus, why on earth can't I feel them moving? Look, if you're thinking this, you are entirely validated. It's completely natural to wonder where the physical proof of all this internal development is. But here's the truth. Small, spontaneous movements are actually happening. Those little arms and legs can move right now, thanks to that rapidly developing nervous system we just talked about. Your baby is quite literally in there testing out their new connections. But because they're still only the size of that strawberry, these movements are just way too subtle for most mothers to feel yet. Those distinct, recognizable kicks that eventually keep you up at night, yeah, those won't generally be felt until much later, usually well into the second trimester. Section 4. Faces, fingers, and toes. And this brilliantly illustrates just how recognizable this little fetus is becoming. The eyes are developing, complete with newly forming eyelids. The ears, the nose, the mouth, they're all becoming increasingly distinct. And those tiny microscopic fingers and toes, they're losing their webbing and becoming individualized little digits. So the baby is tiny, but those classic human features are becoming much, much easier to recognize. Now, this rapid development also extends to the cardiovascular system. The heart is continuing its rapid growth, and cardiac activity is commonly detectable by ultrasound at this stage. But, and this is a very important word of caution here, every pregnancy calendar is completely unique. Your specific dates might be a bit different from some textbook calculation, especially if you ovulated later than expected. So please, do not go comparing your ultrasound results to a random scan you found online. Your healthcare provider is really the only right person to interpret your unique timeline. Section 5. Symptoms and safety signals. Let's pivot for a second, because it is so important to validate what you might be feeling physically right now. You might be dealing with common 10-week symptoms. Things like nausea, vomiting, fatigue, breast tenderness, bloating, and frequent urination. Growing a whole new organ and a baby is exhausting work. But there are crucial red flags to watch out for.
If you experience heavy bleeding, severe abdominal or pelvic pain, fainting, severe dizziness, or vomiting so severe you literally can't keep fluids down, you need to contact your healthcare provider promptly. This clear checklist is just a really great way to separate what's uncomfortable but normal from the signs that actually require a medical professional.
On the flip side of that, if you're looking at that list of common symptoms and suddenly feeling anxious because you don't have them, take a deep breath.